What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Welcome to another Sunday night of Power Rankings. We got a lot of baseball to talk about. Let's get to it. And what's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Hello. 87 people to start things off. What's going on, everyone? Hope you all had yourself a good weekend. Hope you are ready for the next week coming up. We got some good baseball all this past week to talk about. We got some teams that are going to be moving up in the power rankings this week. We got some teams that are going to be falling out of the top 10 this week. I'm guessing maybe some of you out there might know at least one of them, a team that is quite slumping lately. We'll talk about that later on. But a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Again, hopefully, hope you're all having a good week. So, but yeah, before I do get started, really quick, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to 14,000 subscribers. We're actually closing in on 13.2K subscribers. We're inching closer and closer. So if you are new, hit that subscribe button. Everyone, if you can, please hit the like button. YouTube likes it. It helps out. Hit that bell button if you can. Share the stream if you can. But everyone, we have a couple of things to talk about before I get to the power rankings. So really quick, I do want to give you an update on a couple of things I'm working on. I've been talking about a couple of new things that I'm going to be doing on the channel. And the first one that I'm going to be doing, we will be introducing MLB The Show 21 Rebuilds. So, be on the lookout for this sometime this week. This will be the first edition of a MLB The Show rebuild. We're going to be working on the Diamondbacks, so be on the lookout for that sometime this week. I've been trying to hammer it out, but this week has been very busy for me. But also, we will be having another edition at some point. No announcement yet exactly when I'm going to be doing this, but be on the lookout for this as well. We're going to be introducing Out of the Park Baseball 22. I know some of you out there are big fans of this game on the computer, but we're going to be starting off with the Red Sox. I actually put a poll on the channel, on the community tab on my channel, and you guys have spoken. I believe we got to around 1,000 votes on that poll. I can actually go check that out really quick. Let me go see here. How many votes did we get to? Yeah, we got over 1,100 votes, and 41% of you have chosen the Red Sox to be the first team that I rebuild on Out of the Park Baseball 22. So be on the lookout for these two videos. But I do have one news story. Ooh, we got a super chat coming in from Conman752. The Red Sox are going to be playing a Little League team next year in Williamsport. Yes, that was just announced. Yeah, they're playing out in Williamsport today. So good to see that. But yeah, the Red Sox and the Orioles are going to be playing there next year. Man, this O's season has hurt more than any previous during this rebuild. Also, after the D-backs, you need to rebuild the O's. I mean, I think that's quite appropriate. I mean, what the heck? What have they lost? 18 straight games now? I mean, I remember the Diamondbacks were like just awful at one point, and now the Diamondbacks have actually been playing a little better lately. But what the heck happened to the Orioles? Kind of like happened with the Diamondbacks. They lost like how many straight? What was it, like 21, 22 straight games? I can't remember the number, but But now the Orioles are quietly approaching that territory. I remember when the Diamondbacks lost that many straight games, I didn't even realize it was happening until like I kind of just saw this big number, how many they had lost in a row. And now it's the same thing's happening to the Orioles. So, hey, if anyone's playing the Orioles right now, expect a win because that team, they just stink. But they have a bright future. They got a lot of good prospects coming up in the next couple of years. So Orioles fans, hold on. I mean, they're coming. They're coming. The Orioles, you're going to be a little better in the next couple of years. But everyone, I do want to talk about one quick thing. I want to show some love to be honest with you, one of my more favorite players to watch in the last 20 years. And that's Miguel Cabrera hitting his 500th home run today. I want to go take a look at just some Miguel Cabrera numbers. So, I mean, because I feel like personally, Miguel Cabrera has been one of the more underrated players in the game in the last 20 years. I feel like this is a guy, I just feel like he just deserves more attention. This guy is one of the best hitters to ever play in this game. One of the best all-around hitters. So let me pull up some numbers here. Let me pull up some stats. Let me get the music going for you guys. Let's get the mood set. But here we go. Alrighty, so let's go take a look at some Miguel Cabrera numbers really quick. Sharing the screen. So, like I said, hitting his 500th home run today, 28th in Major League Baseball history in home runs. So, Rogers Center giving him a standing ovation today. Well-deserved. Miguel Cabrera, I mean, this guy has just quietly put together, in my opinion, I mean, he had the Triple Crown one season, which was just a ridiculous year. All eyes were on Miggy that year, but I feel like you just don't ever really hear much about Miguel Cabrera, so especially lately, because he hasn't really been on, any winning Tigers teams, and his career is kind of winding down, kind of like Pujols, is similar kind of, not putting up great numbers, big contract, but let's show some love here for Miguel Cabrera. I mean, what a career this guy has just had. I mean, he's all around been just a really good hitter. 311 batting average. It does say 499 here. They haven't updated it yet, but it's 500 now. This guy's driven in almost 1,800 runs. He's got a 388 career on base. Like, that is just nuts. A 534 slugging, 922 career OPS. Just below a 70 wins above replacement. If we go take a look at the leaderboards, Miguel Cabrera, like we just read, 28th all-time. He's only a few home runs behind Eddie Murray. Will he get past Gary? I think he could get past Eddie Murray before the season's over. Could he get past Sheffield? I don't know. Have to wait and see. But I definitely think he has a shot at taking the 27th spot. So maybe 26. I don't know. Might have to take a little more time than that. But if we take a look at where Miguel Cabrera ranks with RBIs, 1,784 RBIs in his career. That ranks 22nd of all time, just a little bit ahead of David Ortiz. Guys like Jim Thome, Cal Ripken Jr., Sammy Sosa. I mean, Miguel Cabrera, I don't think people realize just these numbers that he's put up. I mean, honestly, I had to kind of, get reminded a little bit that this guy is pretty high on the all-time RBI list. I mean, 22nd of all time. I mean, he's in good company here. I mean, again, if you take a look at some of these names, I mean, he is ahead of just some Hall of Famers here. I mean, just some really good names like Mike Schmidt. I mean, good. Who else is on here? Got Jeff Bagwell here. Vlad Guerrero. I mean, come on, Jim Rice. I mean, this is nuts, man. 22nd all time. And also batting average. He doesn't rank as high with the batting average, but when it comes to all time, ranking 107th of all time is, very respectable if you ask me. Considering that this list has so many guys as well that weren't really home run kind of hitters, the fact that he's provided that power, he's provided those runs, while also, ranking near the top 100 in batting average, I think that's very impressive. So Miguel Cabrera, this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. I feel like this is a guy where, if you take a look here, Ichiro had a batting average of 311, and Miguel Cabrera is right behind that. So just keep in mind of that. He is in very good company here. I mean, that's just kind of nuts to look at, man. So Miguel Cabrera, one of the greatest of all time, hitting his 500th home run today. So let's click out of these. But let's get to the main part of the show tonight, and we got the power rankings. Like every week, I'm going to be using Fangraphs. I'm going to be looking at the stats. I'm also going to be taking a look at kind of some top performers from this past week before we do get to the power rankings. That way we can just get an idea of, who's been having a good week. We'll take a look at numbers throughout as well. But I will be, like I said, using Fangraphs to kind of help me out with the numbers. And I'm going to be using Tier Maker like I do every single week. I'm going to grade the teams from an A+ all the way to an F. And then in the end, I'm going to do my top 10. So make sure you stay here until the end. So let's take a look. Let's pull up the overall standings here. All right, here we go. So, and the way I kind of go through this is I look at the overall standings in the league. I start at the bottom and I make my way up to the top. So just to kind of save some time, I already have plugged in some of these teams. So actually, these are last week's power rankings before I get to that. So just in case you need a refresher, these were last week's. So as you can see here, the A+ teams, I had the Astros, the Rays, the Brewers, the Dodgers, the Giants. For the A's, I had the Yankees, the A's, the White Sox, and the B+. As you can see, the Reds, the Braves, the Blue Jays, the Padres, and the Red Sox. And you can see everyone else for the rest of it. So I've already plugged in a few teams here just to kind of save some time a little bit. So I've already plugged in my F teams for the week. There's not really any change here for me. I mean, last week, yeah, I don't know. I just don't really see a reason to change anything here. All of these teams, I mean, Baltimore especially, I mean, that's just crazy, man. 18 straight losses. It's like, I just noticed that today. And I was like, holy crap. Like, what the heck is going on with this Orioles team? But yeah, nothing really is kind of, making me want to change any of these teams. I did move Washington down. I think I had them as I had them as an F last week, so I'm going to keep them as an F this week. Don't really see a reason to move them up or whatever, or any of these teams up. So I'm going to keep the Fs here. Did I actually move any up to the Ds? I did move the Royals up, so that is one slight change that I made. I put them up to a D because the Royals have been playing better as of late. They've won 3 straight, 6-4 in their last 10 games. So they've been playing some better baseball as of late. So let me actually go look here at some top performers for the Kansas City Royals. So let's take a look at what exactly we've been seeing from them. Do want to talk about them just for, just a quick second, just because they did move up a little bit. But we've got some guys here like Nicky Lopez. Andrew Benintendi's been having a really good week. Nicky Lopez, this guy's got 7 stolen bases this week. Whit Merrifield having a solid week. Salvador Perez hitting a couple more home runs this past week. So they're definitely getting a lot of contributions offensively. If we take a look at the pitching for Kansas City, let's take a look here at Kansas City. Let's take a look at all their pitching for this past week. So Brady Singer, Daniel Lynch, Chris Bubick. They got good starts from their starters all over the place this past week. So that's a good sign. When I see teams that are out of it, but they start performing well later on in the season, I like that. It's like a good sign for me, going into the next year. I like when a team can finish strong. To me, it gives me a better feeling about a team when you go into the next year. But yeah, overall, they're getting a lot of good performances here from their starting pitching. And then bullpen as well. Just a quick look at their bullpen this past week. Very good starting pitching, very good offense. Nice to see Andrew Benintendi having a good season with the Kansas City Royals, which I would love to have Andrew Benintendi right now. I mean, look, in hindsight, I don't know, man. I mean, that's not looking like a very good trade, if you ask me. I mean, maybe the prospect that we get, the player to be named later, ends up, kind of turning out to be okay. But Andrew Benintendi, the fact that we could use another left-handed bat in that Boston lineup, and he's having a good season. I mean, I feel like he could have been a good piece on this team this year, but what can you do? But for the bullpen this past week for the Royals, getting really good performances all around from these guys. So Kansas City, a good week for them, so I did bump them up to the Ds. I just wanted to show some love for the Kansas City Royals. I think that was it. I did move the Marlins down to the Fs. They have not been playing good this past week. So the Marlins, they've lost 7 straight games, so I bumped them down to an F. Yeah, no really any big changes. I've been wanting to move the Tigers up, but they're not pushing the needle for me. They're still stuck here at a D for me. I will also say, the Diamondbacks, I will give some love for the Diamondbacks. They are 6-4 in their last 10 games. They did lose 2 straight to end the week. So the Diamondbacks have been playing a little better. Real quick, let me actually pull up the Arizona Diamondbacks here. Just taking a look at some of their offensive players this past week. Ketel Marte had himself a really good week, hit 400 this week, 500 on base, had a home run. You're getting a lot of guys on this team. Pavin Smith, maybe not a great week overall, but Pavin Smith, this is a guy where I'm really thinking this could be a key contributor for the Diamondbacks in the coming years. Overall, he's having a pretty decent season. He's hitting 270, 326 on base, 9 homers, 41 RBIs. So, it's not a great season overall, but I don't know, for his rookie season, I think it's actually pretty decent. So, Pavin Smith, pretty excited to see what this guy can do in the coming years. But definitely Ketel Marte, and Josh Rojas had himself a good week too. So, Diamondbacks, they have been playing a little better. So I will give them a little credit. They've just been so bad all year. And real quick, let's take a look at their pitching. So Zach Gallen was awesome this past week. Madison Bumgarner had a good start this past week, 8 innings. We'll talk about Adam Wainwright here in a little bit, but hey, Adam Wainwright had himself a really good start today against the Pirates. But good starting pitching from the Diamondbacks this past week. So, but that is that. So again, these are the teams for this week that I have as Fs. A lot of these teams are really struggling. If you take a look here, the Cubs are they've completely fallen off since the trade deadline. Well, no surprise there. Miami struggling, the Pirates struggling, Texas struggling, Baltimore has just fallen off the face of the planet. Minnesota was looking a little better there recently, but they dropped 3 straight to end the week. So I will keep Minnesota at a D, though. And for the Angels and the Indians, they're just up and down teams. There's no reason for me to move them from a C. They are what they are. They're just up and down. They have strengths, but they also have weaknesses as well that are holding them back. So I'm going to keep those 2 teams at a C for right now. So let's start. We're at 200 people. This is a good place to really dig into these power rankings this week. So let's take a look. So the first team, we might as well start off strong. The New York Mets. This team is just completely fallen off. You're not going to get Jacob deGrom back this year for the rest of this year. That is just a shame, an absolute shame. It's too bad. That dude was carrying the Mets on his back and, just completely fell off. And now it's looking like he's not going to come back. I don't know if they've officially announced it, but I saw, who was it? The manager or the general manager said it's very unlikely that he's going to come back this year. So, to me, this Mets team, I don't know what to say about this Mets team, man. It's just, I don't know. If we go take a look at the Mets right now. This Mets team, man. It's every year. It's just really unfortunate. But it just goes to show how bad, I don't want to say bad. I guess you could say bad. How bad the depth of the organization is. They don't really have any good prospects they can call up that, that could really step in, and effectively take over. You can't count, Marcus Stroman's good, man, but how far can you, I don't know, man. You're just getting so many, the starting pitching has been good, but without DeGrom, I don't know. It just seems a little flat to me. But the offense is just so up and down this year. They've had their injuries. Lindor's still out. Well, Lindor was having just a disappointing season as is. And then Javier Baez, he came back. Is he going to be coming back here? It looks like. Or he started today. So he was activated, but Lindor is probably going to come back. I don't know, man. It's just, JD Davis, I don't think he's actually been playing all that great since he came back. This guy was having a really good year, and then he got hurt, and then I don't think he's really done anything since then. This dude was having some stupid numbers before he got hurt a while back, but now for the year, I remember this average was so much higher, and then Or actually, here it is. So, I mean, it still are pretty good numbers, but I feel like lately, he hasn't really been doing too much. I mean, he's had a hit in 3 straight games. Well, I don't know. Maybe I take that back. He's got no home runs. He's only driven in a couple of runs. I mean, he's getting on base at least. And he's getting some hits. Went 3 for 4 there. That was like last week. I mean, he didn't really do too much this past week. So, I don't know. But this Mets team, I don't know what to say about this Mets team. It's really disappointing. Just very inconsistent. If we go take a look at what they did this past week. It's just crazy to see. I mean, they did beat the Dodgers today. So at least they ended their week on a good note. I will say this. I'm an optimist. There still is time. There is time. I mean, I know it's very, I don't want to say it's very unlikely that they make the playoffs, but it's not looking good. I mean, if we take a look at the standings, I mean, right now the Mets are 7 back. I mean, they would have to have a September for the ages to be able to come back. It's not impossible, but I don't know, man. But this past week, just a bad week. I mean, you lost 2 out of 3 to the Giants. You lost 3 out of 4 to the Dodgers. Bad week. I mean, you're playing 2 teams that are just some of the best teams in the game right now. That's a tough week. And you got the Giants again. You got the Nationals next week. If you do want to turn around your season, you got to do it now. I mean, there's no more time. Try and end August on a good note if you're the Mets. You got how many more games here? 7 more games for the rest of this month. So let's say you go on a bit of a win streak here. Hey, I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Have to wait and see. But for the Mets, I had them at a C last week. I have to bump the Mets down to a D. I mean, they're just not looking good. They're just playing very bad. They did win today. I'll give them that. But, I mean, I don't know. Just this Mets team, they're just not playing very good. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's tough to see. It's tough to see, putting the Mets here. And it's just such a disappointment. It's like this team coming in looked really good, but the depth of this organization has really gotten exposed. A lot of guys have gone down, have gotten hurt, and not a lot of guys have been able to really step in and, take over. Lindor went down and no one was really, they got Baez, but then he got hurt, and it's like, I don't know. There's not really much going on with the Mets. So, I don't know. But for the Mets, let's see if they can turn this around. We have to wait and see. But I'm putting them at a D for this week. So, moving on. Let's close out of that. So, up next, I already did the Indians, already did the Angels. So, let's talk about the Phillies here. The Phillies, they were on cloud 9 at one point. Bryce Harper, people were talking like, hey, MVP. But the Phillies, they have really just kind of come back down to earth. They were looking phenomenal. They did beat the Padres, and we'll talk about the Padres here in a little bit. If you look at the wild card standing, Philly is currently 5 back, but they're 4-6 in their last 10. I don't know. It's just, you did get Rhys Hoskins back, so he had some home runs today, so that's good to see. Rhys Hoskins is quietly having a pretty decent year. He's providing a lot of power. He's approaching 30 home runs, I believe. But yeah, this past week, he got swept by the Diamondbacks. And like I said, the Diamondbacks have been playing better. And then he did win 2 out of 3 against the Padres. So not a bad week overall. Or not a great week overall. You did at least get, or you won 2 out of 3 against the Padres. Did I say that? Sorry if I said that wrong. But you won 2 out of 3 against the Padres, who are struggling. So I don't know, take it for what it's worth. But overall, you went 2-4 this past week. So if we take a look at the stats, Philly currently is 16th in baseball with offense right now. If we take a look at the pitching, starting pitching, hey, Philly, they rank 7th in starting pitching this year. Zach Wheeler's having a phenomenal season. If you look at the bullpen, though, Philly's bullpen, it's just not a strength. They rank 29th in all of Major League Baseball in the bullpen. It's like they keep adding these guys, and it's like, I don't know. They just can't really seem to figure it out. And defensively, the Phillies, how are they defensively? They only rank 22nd in baseball in defense. So that's something you're going to have to tighten that up. I don't know. This Phillies team, I don't really know what to say about it. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. Philly is just, it's like they have the talent on this team, and they just can't really seem to get it going. But last week, I had the Phillies at a B. I'm going to drop them down to a C+. I think you got some talent on this team. There are signs of this team, maybe going on some kind of another run. I don't know, like you see some flashes here and there ever since they were winning a lot of games. But right now, I'm dropping the Phillies down to a C+. I'm going to drop them down just one tier for this week. Again, I had them at a B last week, so I'm just going to drop them down one tier. They didn't have the war. I mean, you did lose. You got swept by the Diamondbacks, but then at least you came back and won 2 out of 3 against the Padres. So it was looking like they were going to go down to a C, but because of this past weekend taking 2 out of 3, I'll keep it at a C+ for right now. So moving on, let's talk about the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright today had a great start. I was watching that game against the Pirates. Adam Wainwright, man, this is a guy where, what does Giraffe Neck Mark like to say about Justin Verlander? Age is like fine wine. It seems like Adam Wainwright just is getting better. I don't know. The guy, he's not going to throw the hardest. The velocity sits in the high 80s, low 90s. But the guy knows he can control the ball. He's still got great movement on that curveball. He uses his off-speed pitches. He changes locations. Kind of reminds me of how Curt Schilling was later in his career. In 2007, Curt Schilling was no longer like that power pitcher anymore, but he just really had to reinvent himself, So same thing with CC Sabathia. Sabathia, power pitcher, but then he kind of had to, velocity started going down later in his career. But, he was able to kind of work the corners a little bit more, move the ball around in the zone. And, when you get to that age and you're just not as athletic as you used to be, you got to kind of change how you are as a pitcher, how you approach the game. So Wainwright today, he just looked phenomenal. 8 innings today, he looked great. But St. Louis overall, I did a video yesterday, and actually really quick, let me, I'll get to that later. But I do have a few videos. I made 3 videos yesterday. I don't know what was going on with me yesterday. My brain was just on fire yesterday. I was just pumping out videos yesterday. So 3 videos. If any of you didn't see them, go take a look at them. So I did them. One video was it included the Cardinals. So they have really put themselves back in position for competing for a wild card. 4.5 back here. We'll get to Cincinnati here in a little bit, but St. Louis, they have been playing a little better. And you know what? I want to go take a look at the Cardinals. I talked about this in the video yesterday where, that starting rotation, it is looking really good. Like, it's not the greatest rotation. Like, I get that, but it looks way better than what it looked like about a month ago. Oh my God. I remember looking at the rotation. They had 4 guys in the rotation, and they didn't have a Jack Flaherty. All they had was Adam Wainwright. You had Carlos Martinez in there. You had Kyung-Young Kim. Who else did you have in there? I don't even remember who was the other guy. John Gant maybe. But this rotation, they got McCullers back. Lester and Happ, they're not great by any means, but at least they're going to give you some innings, and they are veteran guys. How actually has Lester been doing? I always like to check up on Mr. Johnny Lester. Got to keep an eye on Lester. He actually did pretty good a couple starts ago. He can't be doing stuff like this, man, when he's giving up, 4 runs, 5 runs, 6 runs. If he can give you stuff like this, maybe 5 innings, 1, 2, 3 earned runs. I think that's a win if you can get that from Lester. But let's say, how is Happ been doing? J. Happ got him at the deadline as well. Taking a look here at the game log, he's actually been really good. Wow, look at him. Look at J.A. Happ since coming over from the Twinkies. He has had 4 straight good starts. I mentioned this. When that trade happened. When he got traded to the Yankees from the Blue Jays, he was awesome for the Yankees when he first came over. And look what he's doing here with the Cardinals. He's going 6 innings a couple times. He's worked into the 6th inning 3 times. Come on, look at the start he had against Pittsburgh yesterday. I know it's Pittsburgh, but whatever. 8 Ks, 6 innings. Good. That's pretty good. So the Cardinals rotation, it's looking really good as a whole right now. I would say really good, but it's definitely looking a lot better. So they have really been stepping up in a lot of, pretty much every category that you need offensively. They've been stepping up. Let me click at it. So also, if anyone, oh, there is that video I was looking for. Anyway, but if anyone, by the way, I'm a big wrestling fan. Did anyone see CM Punk? Any wrestling fans here? I'm a big CM Punk fan. Did anyone catch that the other night? Coming back to professional wrestling? Oh man, loved it. So I've been listening to Living Color by Cult of Personality, his theme song. Man, I've been listening to that song all weekend. I'm just jamming out. And if you notice, that was the intro song for the video today, or for the stream tonight. So CM Punk, welcome back to professional wrestling. I have missed you, my friend. Anyway, St. Louis Cardinals. But lately, they have been playing just awesome. If you take a look at the offense, St. Louis, in this past week, I mean, St. Louis, not great offensively this past week, but hey, they were able to win games. Starting pitching really stepped up for them. Where are you at, St. Louis? St. Louis starting pitching. I don't see you anywhere. Oh, here, 19th. I mean, so it doesn't rank great, but overall this past week you had a 3.29 ERA. So, I mean, hey, starting pitching was okay this past week, but the bullpen for St. Louis, they ranked 11th this past week. A 2.89 ERA, a 3.01 FIP. So, I mean, they've just been really stepping it up. And the one thing about this Cardinals team that I think is a little underappreciated is the defense. It's a very good defensive team. So, overall, for the St. Louis Cardinals, I believe, did they sweep the Pirates this past weekend? I think it was a sweep. Oh, come on here. Let's take a load. Oh, no. What? Wow, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Pirates? What am I thinking? No, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Pirates. I'm sorry. But yeah, they had a good win today. 3-0 win. And then you lost 2 out of 3 to the Brewers. But overall, kind of going back this past month, they have been playing a lot better this past month. So, you know, not a great week overall. I mean, you went 2-4 this past week, but they have been playing better in the month of August. So they still got some time here. You got 2 against the Tigers. You got 4 more against the Pirates. You got a key series against the Reds coming up. So this is a week, if you really want to put yourself in position, this is the week. You got 6 games here that are all winnable games. This is the week. So St. Louis, but again, it wasn't a great week overall, though, when you look at the grand scheme of things. I'm still going to put St. Louis, I had them at a C+ last week, but because they went 2-4 this past week, I don't know. I can't really justify moving them up. So, I mean, they had a good win today, but I'm going to keep them at a C+ for right now. So I need to see how they do this next week. If they can do well this next week, you know, win, 5 out of those 6 games, they'll get up to a B. But they need a good week. So it's going to be an important week for the St. Louis Cardinals. Moving on, let's go to the Toronto Blue Jays. What the heck has happened to this Blue Jays team? You had an open door. The world was open to you, Toronto, and you have proceeded to go 3-7 in your last 10. I don't know. I kind of thought this year, I thought the Blue Jays would have a good team this year. I don't know. There's still plenty of time. I don't know there's something about this Blue Jays team, like while it's better, I just felt like they weren't quite there just yet. And they still have time to turn this around. But I don't know. Toronto lately, it's just, I don't know. Like, you had your chance right there. The Red Sox are just falling off the face of the planet. That was your chance to kind of move in, and you didn't make a move, you know? And the Yankees have completely just gotten just red hot. And the Blue Jays just haven't made anything happen. So this past week, you lost 2 to the Nationals and you lost 2 out of 3 to the Tigers. It's just a bad week, and those are not good teams. I don't know, man. Toronto, with that offense, I mean, their offense is actually, is it still, I think it's still top 3 or number 2, right? Toronto's, yeah, number 2. If you take a look defensively with Toronto, They're 20th this year. So that defense, I mean, I was watching one game with the Blue Jays. It was against the Red Sox. And they made like 2 really careless errors. Like, it wasn't just like, mistake kind of errors. It were just lazy errors. I don't know. I don't know if that's been happening a lot this year. But when I look at the overall rankings defensively, they don't rank very well. So, yes, Jared Cole, I see you. For the rebuilds on MLB The Show, yes, yeah, that's what I love about MLB The Show is you have people create these rosters. That's amazing, and you can like download them. So yes, Jared, I will be utilizing that as well. Jason, was there another lazy error today? I mean, I don't know. I saw that when I was watching them play the Red Sox a week or 2 ago. I'm seeing Lourdes Gurriel Jr. out in left field, and he's just like jogging to the ball, and then he dropped the ball, and then I don't know, and then the play right before that, dude at second base just makes like the most careless throw and throws it completely over the first baseman's head. I don't know. And then I don't know. Blue Jays, they need to improve on the defense if they want to go anywhere. Sure, they have 12 defensive runs saved, but they don't really rank very well, in things like UZR. I don't know. Just need to be better defensively. I think that's where I mean, it's the fundamentals with Toronto. I just don't think those fundamentals are all fully there. Sure, they can bash the ball. The pitching, it's better with a Jose Barrios, but I feel like, Toronto's starting pitching, while it's better, it's not superstar starting pitching, It's not like a Brewers, Dodgers level starting pitching. Anyway, I digress. But with the starting pitching, Toronto, they have definitely improved, like I said. They are 17th overall. They were 24th or 23rd at one point. So you've moved up to 17th. I mean, it's like I've said, it is better. You got Hyun-Jin Ryu. You got Jose Barrios, like I said. The starting pitching is looking a lot better. Let's actually go take a look at that starting pitching really quick. So the Blue Jays rotation. So, I mean, and Robbie Ray's had a good season. I keep forgetting about Robbie Ray. He's having a very good season this year. Alek Manoah came up. I just feel like next year, just have another offseason. And then this team is going to be, they also they've had their fair share of injuries this year. George Springer, he came, but he didn't have a full season. So, I mean, the offense was pretty good without him, but I don't know. Anyway, but the bullpen kind of struggled this year. If you take a look at the bullpen, Toronto's bullpen, they were 27th this past week, so that's not good. Toronto's bullpen overall, they rank 28th on the year. So the bullpen has just been a weakness this year for them. And they don't do very well in these close games. And that's where the bullpen doesn't really help them out very much. I don't know. But Toronto, last week, I had them at a B+. I'm dropping them down to a B. You just didn't have a good week. So we're going down to a B, Toronto. We're going down to a B. Can they still turn this around? I mean, it's not out of the question. They're only 4.5 out. So it's not all doom and gloom. You still have a chance here. So kind of tighten the ship up a little bit. I think Toronto, I think you can make some kind of a run. You got a two-way tie here for the second wild card spot. The Red Sox and the A's haven't been playing their best baseball in the last, couple of weeks. So Toronto, make the move. You can do it. You got a heck of a team. I think they have a team capable enough of making a run for that second wild card. I don't think that's out of the question. To be like a surefire playoff team, I feel like they're not quite there, but they definitely have a team that can go on a run. Absolutely. And that is also another thing. Matt. Did I just say too many Matts there? I'm sorry. There's 4 Matts. Matt. But yeah, I mean, they got a schedule. They got some teams, like the Orioles coming up. Let's actually look at that schedule. You do got the White Sox for 4. That's going to be interesting. The White Sox are never easy. You got the Tigers, and you got the Orioles coming up. If we look at Toronto over the next month, I'm actually going to do a video on Toronto, and I'm going to do a video on the Mariners too about their playoff chances. So be on the lookout for that. Probably tomorrow. I'd say tomorrow's a good one. But yeah, you got the Orioles, then you got the A's, you got the Yankees. You do have some Orioles games coming up. But overall, this is a tough schedule. You got the Yankees, you got the White Sox, you got the A's, you got the Rays. You got a lot of Twins. You got the Yankees again. This is going to be tough for Toronto. Absolutely. Absolutely. But at least you got some Orioles games. But moving on, again, Toronto going down to a B for me. Moving on, let's talk about Seattle. I just mentioned Seattle. 7-3 in their last 10. Are they going to be able to do this? You know, if you take a look, they're 3 back. I mean, Seattle, come on. Just like Toronto, come on. Let's do it. Let's make this run. Actually, I don't want them to make a run. I want my Red Sox to win this wild card. So, no, don't make a run, please. But Seattle, if there's any other team, you know, that I would love to see get that wild card spot, it's you. So if we're going to lose, so could you at least, you know, make something happen? You got a good win today against the Astros in extra innings. That's a big win. MLB.com, you are killing me. But here we go. A good week. I mean, you won 3 against the Rangers, and you lost 2 out of 3. You got pummeled by the Astros in the first couple of games, but at least you came back and won the finale. It's always nice when you can end the week on a win. So, overall, a good week. You went 4-2. And then you got the A's for a couple of games there. These are 2 important games. If you want to make some kind of a climb here, this is it right here. You know, you need to, if you're Seattle, you need to win these 2 games. So if we take a look at Seattle, taking a look at the numbers, for the offense, it's actually been better in recent weeks. They ranked 20th overall. I believe they were like 25th at one point. Now they're 20th. So that's definitely gotten better. If you look at the fielding for the Mariners are 21st. So kind of like the Blue Jays, they're not as tight when it comes to the defense. The UZR is not very good, -6.9. You're at -7 defensive runs saved. So, it's not the best defensive team. If you look at the pitching, though, Seattle's pitching only ranks 23rd. Starting pitching ranks 23rd. It's that bullpen. I feel like I say this every single week. Love that Mariners bullpen. 3rd in Major League Baseball this year. So, Mariners bullpen, they've really stepped up. Anyway, but lately, Seattle, the offense, this past week only ranked 21st. So, Seattle with the starting pitching, 28th this past week. So, well, granted, you got pummeled by the Astros a couple of games. So that's really going to bring your numbers down. Bullpen, 7.45 ERA this past week. So, I mean, it was a 4.16 ERA though. So that's, 4.16 FIP though. So that looks a lot better. But Seattle definitely got pummeled with the pitching a little bit this week. So I had the Mariners last week at a B. I'm going to keep them at a B. I feel like, 4-2, you kind of got pummeled by the Astros there a couple of games. You did win the last game. You did sweep the Rangers. So overall, I'd say it was a good week overall, minus those 2 bad losses. But I think for me, I'm going to stand pat with the Mariners. I'll keep them at a B for right now. Moving on. San Diego. Everyone, get ready. Let's talk San Diego here. So I told you I made 3 videos yesterday. I did a video on the Padres on can they still make the playoffs or will they? I think, of course, they can make the playoffs, but will they? Man, if I can sum up that video that I did in a matter of a few sentences, starting pitching depth is really thin. You got these other teams that are really coming on strong in that division, for the wild card there. It's just, Cincinnati's come on strong. St. Louis is right down, breathing down their necks. Philly's right there too. San Diego, they've just not been playing good. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They lost today to the Phillies. So I don't know. It's just it's not looking very good here in San Diego. They got Fernando Tatis Jr. back. I thought maybe that could give him a bit of a spark, but their starting pitching is so thin. They're just relying on so much bullpen. I don't know. It's just a team that doesn't seem. They got no depth. There's just no. These guys are getting hurt. There's no starting pitching depth. It's too bad that Mackenzie Gore couldn't end up doing something this year. I believe he actually had a pretty decent rehab start. I think he's, do you call it a rehab start? I don't even know what you call it, but he did start, I believe, a couple of days ago, and he actually looked pretty good. So, yeah, Mackenzie Gore, I don't know if he's going to help out the Padres this year, but, also another thing I thought about, too, when you traded for, wow, I'm going so blank. I'm going so blank on the name. That is how tired I am from this past week. Oh my God. What the heck is his name? This is driving me nuts. Wow, this is like embarrassing right now. I've completely forgot his name. Hold on. Can I please remember the name? Why am I going blank on his name? This is driving me nuts. No, not Adam. I keep wanting to say Mackenzie Gore, but that's not the name. Hold on. Mike Clevinger. God, I don't know why that was hurting my brain. I could not remember the name. Mike Clevinger. When they traded away, or when they got Mike Clevinger last year, they traded away Cal Quantrill. And he's actually doing pretty good this year. That would be an arm that he could have made some starts this year for the Padres. And, yeah, well, that's not going to happen. And now Mike Clevinger, he's at home nursing a bum elbow. So, there's just no, look at these guys. They also just got Jake Arrieta, but that took one start for him to go on the IL. Arrieta, Clevinger, Darvish, Lamet, Morejon, Paddock. Look at these guys. Look at how many guys are on the IL. It's crazy. Look at the rotation. You're relying on a 3-man rotation. Ryan Weathers got beat today. You got Snell and Musgrove. This is like, that's bad. It's just really bad. Sure, on paper, this looked really good. Darvish. You got to remember with Darvish, this guy's 35 years old. I'm not saying, oh, we got a super chat. Cash Nelson. Love your vids, man. Big fan. Go Cards. Hey, Cardinals looking pretty good lately. Cardinals, can they take that wild card spot? We'll have to wait and see. So one thing about the Cardinals, hey, like a lot of years, they tend to be second half teams. So have to wait and see if they can close the gap there. Cash, thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate that. But yeah, a lot of injuries to the Padres right now, pitching wise. The offense this year just seems so stagnant. I don't know what it is. They have guys that can thump in this lineup. They got MVP in Fernando Tatis Jr., but I don't know what it is. It's just they got guys, but overall, it's just I don't know what they can't seem to make a lot of things happen. They're 12th in the offense, but it's only a 1.5 offensive runs above average. It's not great. Starting pitching, or fielding wise, I actually pointed this out in my video yesterday. They're only 24th in fielding. So sure, they have 12 defensive runs saved, but UZR wise, they're not very strong. Fernando Tatis Jr., in the outfield now. So, I feel like the fielding has been fine with him out in the outfield. I haven't heard anything negative out there, but at short, he wasn't playing very well. But, yeah. Taking a look, that starting pitching, while it is very thin, San Diego, they ranked 16th in starting pitching this year. This past week, San Diego, their offense was really bad this week. They were only ranked 24th. They were 25th in starting pitching this past week. That's just not going to get it done. Bullpen. What do they have for the bullpen? 23rd. So they're just not performing. It's just not good. Not good. This past week, you got swept by the Rockies, and you lost 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. That's terrible. They're just so bad lately. This whole month has just been terrible. How many games have they won this month? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They've only won 8 games this month. It's awful. Out of how many? They've won only 8 out of 19 games this past month. So that's not very good. But for the Padres, I had them last week at a B+. I mean, we got to drop you down to a B, San Diego. I mean, you're falling. You're down to a B. I don't really know what to say. I mean, I think it's justified with the performance. I'll drop you down. I mean, this past week, lately, you're playing like this. You know, you're in the bottom here, but you know, for a while there, you were up here. So they were at an A+ at one point, and then they dropped, and then they dropped again, and we're gonna drop again. I don't know. You know what? Here we go. Let's do a vote. Let's do a vote. I'm gonna go B for right now, but let's have you guys jump in. Where do you guys think? I'm gonna go B or C+. Let me know what you think. B or C+. I will not go below a C+. I refuse. C+ or B. I'm seeing a lot of C+. Looking like, all right, so I'm seeing a lot of C's too. So, all right, C+ for the Padres. You guys have spoken. Yeah, they're falling fast, man. It's not good. I mean, overall, their record is still respectable, 68-57. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought they lost today. Didn't they lose today? Lost to the Phillies. So why is it saying they've won one straight? Let me update that. There we go. Now it's updated. So, yeah, San Diego, man. I don't know. C+ for San Diego this week. Moving on, let's talk about the Cincinnati Reds, the team that has leapfrogged them in the wild card race. Who would have thought the Dodgers and the Reds? I mean, we were all in the offseason. I mean, don't act like you weren't saying that the Dodgers and the Padres were going to, duke it out for maybe a wild card well, actually, no, I think a lot of people were saying the Dodgers would win the division, or a lot of people were saying the Padres would win the division. Who would have thought that San Diego would be in this position right now? It's crazy, man. Still a lot of time left. Still a lot of time. But Cincinnati, you've been playing great, man. You've won 4 straight games. Took advantage of the Marlins today. This Reds team has been a lot of fun to watch. Jonathan India has been really fun to watch this year. Gotta love what Jonathan India has been doing. Taking a look here at the schedule this past week. So, you hit a bump there. You lost 2 out of 3 to the Cubs, but then you got a 4-game sweep of the Marlins. You basically just flushed all of that negativity down the drain with a 4-game sweep. Hey, and the Marlins, they got some good pitching. So, hey, for the Reds to be able to put up some runs against that Marlins pitching, that's pretty good stuff. For the Reds, overall, they have the 10th best offense. That offense has just been awesome. Jonathan India, like I said, he's just been raking since coming up, in my opinion, Rookie of the Year. With the Reds, with the defense, the Reds don't rank very well defensively. I would like to see that, see them kind of tighten that up a little bit. Negative 23 defensive runs saved, a negative 10.3 UZR. So those numbers need to get better. But they have an offense that has been picking up the slack. Joey Votto's been having a great year. Winker, Castellanos, like I said, India. Cincinnati's starting pitching has actually been quite a surprise this year. People thought Trevor Bauer's leaving. Well, all right, Cincinnati's starting pitching. Oh, I don't know about this. But they've actually stepped up. And who would have thought Wade Miley would be that big of a piece in that rotation? Who would have thought? 11th in the starting pitching this year. And, the bullpen is 27th on the year. I feel like lately it has been better, though. Cincinnati's bullpen. Am I on the relievers? Yeah, Cincinnati. They're 15th in this past week. So while the ERA was high, the FIP was a lot better. 4.00 FIP compared to the ERA. So pitching better than what the ERA says over those 17 innings. But at least they didn't lose any games this week, so that's a good thing. But yeah, Cincinnati, man, they've been playing great. We had them last week at a B+. I mean, I'm thinking an A for the Reds. You know what? You know what? I'm feeling good about this Reds team. I'm going with an A. We're going an A for the Cincinnati Reds. They're bumping up. They had them at a B plus last week. We're going with an A for the Cincinnati Reds. Look at what they've done to come all the way back here and get the second wild card. I mean, sure, I could keep them at a B plus, but you know what? You had a 4-game sweep of the Marlins, man. I mean, come on. That's taking care of business. You put yourself into the second wild card spot. I think it's deserved. An A for the Cincinnati Reds. So, who would have thought the Cincinnati Reds would be at an A? I mean, I don't know. They were, for a while, they were around here, but an A for the Reds. Good to see. Moving on. Let's, all right, I think we're almost in the top 10 here. Atlanta, another team, red hot. They've won 9 straight. They're 9-1 in their last 10. I mean, good grief. This team, I mean, sure, they took advantage of the Orioles lately, but, I mean, come on. This team is just nuts. I mean, finally, the Atlanta Braves, for so long, I mean, just so inconsistent. The Marcell Ozuna had whatever the heck was going on. This team just looked like they were treading water. And it was like, what the heck? Is this team going to do something? Are they going to make a move? Well, here's the move. I mean, they have the talent on this team. But yeah, you took it to the Marlins this past week. You took it to the Orioles. Actually, the Orioles didn't really score a ton of runs against them. So winning a couple of close games there. But then if you go back into last week, they they swept the Nationals. And then they won 2 out of 3 against the Reds before that. They've just been playing great. This month has been awesome for them. They've lost 1, 2, 3 games. And they've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They're 16-3 this month. What a month. You got a tough week. Oh, here's the test for the Atlanta Braves, though. Here is the test. You got the Yankees coming up, you got the Giants, and then you got the Dodgers. So this is going to be a big week, you know, going in the next Tuesday, the 31st, the end of August. So you got a couple of games off here, or, you know, to kind of recharge for this Giants series, and then the Dodgers too. So yeah, this is going to be tough here. Going to be tough. But the Braves, this team has just been playing awesome lately. If we take a look at what they've been doing, they are 7th in offense this past week. The starting pitching is 6th this past week. And then the bullpen, 18th this past week. But I will point out that ERA doesn't look very good, 5.40. The FIP is a lot better at 3.70. They haven't lost any games this week out of the bullpen. They have a couple of saves. Atlanta's just been getting it done, man. These guys have just been really stepping it up. Taking a look, actually, so I pulled up some stats here. I think this is a good time to pull up some top performers from this past week. I know I'm like right in the middle of the Atlanta Braves, but we got a lot of good performers. And Freddie Freeman, oh, we got a super chat. Cash Nelson, again, you think the Cardinals 100% healthy roster this year is a 100% playoff team? If not, what do you think they'll do next year to improve? Again, much love. I would think for the I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you go to the Cardinals here, let me take a quick breather from that. Let me go to the Cardinals really quick. I'm a visual person. I need to see the team in front of me. I need to see these guys on the IL. But yeah, Dylan Carlson, tough to see that he went down with a sprained wrist recently. I mean, don't forget Dakota Hudson. He's been on the shelf with Tommy John. Carlos Martinez had thumb surgery. You got a lot of these guys too, you know, relievers here. Ryan Helsley. I mean, good grief. An elbow stress reaction. That is just, oof. Jordan Hicks, he's been out for a while. I mean, yeah, sure, they've had some injuries. Absolutely, this Cardinals team is very talented. I think for the Cardinals, if you take a look at where they're at, the Cardinals this year, 21st in offense. So I think Nolan Arenado is a good addition. I think they need another bat. I think they need another bat there somewhere. If I'm looking at the Cardinals right now, if I'm looking at this, I wonder if maybe they, you know, do something about short. Paul DeJong this year, I mean, he's only hitting 201 on the year. He's got 16 home runs, but I think you could make an improvement. And hey, you got a big shortstop class coming up. Could they maybe go after someone? Could you reunite a Trevor Story and a Nolan Arenado in St. Louis? Could you go, get someone like a Corey Seager or, a Carlos Correa? I don't know. The St. Louis, they tend not to spend a lot of, they brought in Nolan Arenado. So, they took on some money with that. But you could go for a shortstop. I think that could be pretty good. If you look elsewhere, I like Edman. I don't think he's been having like the most amazing season. What has he been doing? 257 on the year. I mean, with Edman, you're going to get versatility with him. So, obviously Arenado's been good. O'Neal's been good this year. Goldschmidt's been good. I would think maybe Paul DeJong. What I would like for the Cardinals to do, I would like them to add some starting pitching depth. They had to go out and get Lester and Happ. So I think a lot there. They were really struggling with that starting pitching depth. So I think they need to go out. I'm not saying you have to go out and get like a top tier starting pitcher. I mean, obviously that would be good if you can do that, but they need to add depth there. They do need to add some depth. And they got some younger guys in the minor leagues that are going to come up eventually. But I think for the Cardinals, maybe improve it short in the offseason. Maybe take a look at some starting pitching depth-wise. I think they need some guys. Who knows if maybe Happ or Lester come back. But you will get Dakota Hudson back. I would imagine he's going to be fine by then. But I would think Wainwright, bring him back on he's on a 1-year deal, I believe. So I think they need depth. That's what I think they need. So depth for the rotation, maybe another bat, maybe it's short. So that's what I would do. But thank you for the super chat, my friend. Really appreciate that. Let me click out of these. But back to the Atlanta Braves. They've just been great, man. So I was actually looking at some top performers, and Freddie Freeman is one of the top performers this past week, having a very good week, hitting 500, 560 on base. This guy's just been killing it. Austin Riley's been really good this past week too. 429 at 500 on base. A couple of more home runs this past week. Atlanta is just on fire. Any other Atlanta performers here? Let me go pull up Atlanta really quick. So like I said, Freeman, Austin Riley. Jorge Soler had another home run this past week. He has a 400 on base. Dansby Swanson's had himself a pretty good week. Duvall had a home run this past week. So how has Ozzie Albies actually been this year? I feel like I haven't heard too much. Only hitting 255 on the year. 16 stolen bases. He's got 22 home runs. So, yeah, Ozzie Albies. I'd like to see him do a little bit more down the stretch there for the Braves. But you got to love what the Braves are doing right now. They're getting great starting pitching as well. If we were to take a look at Atlanta, Charlie Morton had himself a good start this past week. 6 innings. What else? Any other Atlanta Braves? Noah had himself 5 1/3 innings this past week. Didn't give up any runs. So Atlanta looking pretty good with that starting pitching as well. And then real quick, let's look at the bullpen. Any top performers this week for Atlanta? Tyler Matzek had a really good week. Only a couple innings, though. But Atlanta, they're just stepping up all over the place. Last week, I had Atlanta as a B+. We're moving Atlanta up to an A. They just continue to be a really good team. So, did Fried have himself a good week, too, actually, Fulgham? Let me actually pull up here. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Let's click this one. Let's click Atlanta. Atlanta, so... Oh, wow. Why didn't he pop up on the... Maybe this didn't update. Maybe that list didn't update. But wow, Fried had a complete game this past week. Good grief. A 2.29 FIP in that start. Man. Yeah, Morton was good. Noah. Tucson had a good week too. Smiley's, whatever. But Atlanta, like I said, they're just stepping up. They're stepping up all over the place. I'm putting them at an A for the Atlanta Braves. Moving on. We have the Oakland A's, another team that's been struggling. I'm telling you, the dog days of August are real. The dog days of August, it's a real thing. I'm telling you, a lot of teams struggle this month. I mean, look at the Padres. That's a perfect example. But Oakland also has been struggling. So while that's loading, Oakland on the year, they rank 8th in offense. If we take a look defensively, they're actually a good defensive team this year. They rank 10th in fielding, If we look at the starting pitching, they've been fifth all. I mean, they've been right around this spot all year. Starting pitching has been very consistent with them. The bullpen, though, I believe it has been better as of late, but they still only rank 20th on the year. They have a good ERA on the year, 3.58. So let's go take a look at their schedule this past week. Tough game with the Giants today, a very close 2-1 final. But looking here. It's funny. I gotta say this. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm quite the wrestling fan. Maybe not as much as I used to be as a kid, but SummerSlam, WWE SummerSlam last night. It was at Allegiant Stadium there in Las Vegas. Wonder if Oakland, man, is it a matter of time? Only a matter of time before they plant their flag in Oakland with the Raiders, man. It'd be pretty interesting, but that Allegiant Stadium is nuts. So any Oakland, any Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders fans in the chat, if you're gonna go to Allegiant Stadium this year, if you can, that place is looking awesome. But taking a look here, so it was not a good week. You lost 3 out of 4 to the White Sox. You did win one against the Giants, but then you lost the next 2, a couple of close games. So I will give them that, a couple of close games there against the Giants this weekend. But in the end, just not able to get it done. So let me see. Does Oakland have any top performers this past week? No top performers this past week. But how about starting pitching? Maybe some starting pitching here. Robbie Ray. Give him some credit too. He had himself a good start this past week. He sits atop the leaderboards this past week when it comes to wins above replacement for starting pitchers. But Oakland, any starting pitchers here? Nope. No Oakland starting pitchers there. How about some relievers? Sergio Romo had himself a good week, so that's nice to see. Sergio Romo stepping up in the bullpen. But yeah, Oakland overall, just not a good week, and they just haven't really been playing. If you going back to that Rangers series, they won that 17-0 game against the Indians, then they lost 2 out of 3 to the Rangers, 3 out of 4 to the White Sox, and 2 out of 3 to the Giants. Just not great. I had the A's last week at an A. I'm going to drop them down to a B+, my first B+ team of the week. So Oakland, going to have to wait and see if they can turn that around. Oh, did Chris Bassett got hurt? He got hurt? Chris Bassett. What is going on with Chris Bassett? Whoa, Chris Bassett. I missed that. I'll tell you what. Since I've gone back to school, man, I've been, working like crazy. Man, I feel like I've been missing a couple of these little things, man. Let's see. There we go. A's. So is he on the IL now? Fangraphs, come on, you're killing me right now. All right, we're gonna have to. What is the news? Oh, that's right. He got hit. Oh, that's right. He got hit in the face. That's right. Good grief, man. Yeah. Oh, God. Is he gonna be out for the rest of the year? I would imagine, right? He was getting surgery on, for facial fractures. Good grief. Yeah, every time I think of a pitcher that gets hurt, I just think arm or something. I saw that this past week. That is how tired I am from teaching, man. Like, I saw this past week. I never like watching those videos, man. I never do. Ugh, but I saw it once and I was like, I don't want to watch it no more. But Chris Bassett, man, hopefully this guy can get well. Hoping for the best. I would imagine. So it does. I mean, there is good news as of today. He has noticed dramatic reduction of the swelling. So he's having surgery. I mean, is he going to be back? I mean, I don't know. Like, what's the... What are you, what, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine if you got some fractures in the face, I would think, are you going to be able to come back? I mean, at least it's not arm related. I mean, he would have to wear a mask. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like you would come back from that. If he does, I mean, that guy's he's crazy. Like, I mean, who is the other guy that we saw come back this year? He got hit in the face. Kevin Pillar, remember that? I mean, Kevin Pillar came back. He got hit in the face, right? And then, I mean, hey, we'll have to see. Chris Bassett, man. Hopefully, overall, I hope the best for his health. Hopefully, everything is good. That's a scary thing, man. Scary thing. But for Oakland, we're dropping them down to, from an A to a B+ this week. So, taking a look at the next team, my Red Sox. You know, kind of a weird team lately, man. The game got called today. Got that hurricane floating around out there. You know, I live down here in Florida, man, and God, I never. Every time I see the word hurricane, I'm like, ugh. Don't like it. I've been through quite a few hurricanes. Don't like those. But Chris Sale did pitch the other night. Looked pretty good. But then they got their butts kicked the other night. My Red Sox, man. Just very up and down lately. Not a good month of August. The dog days of August have gotten to my Red Sox. So, yeah. You know, it's weird because they scored those 20 runs against the Rays. You know, they scored 16 against the Orioles there. You know, but they got swept by the Yankees this past week. And then you split with the Rangers. I mean, what an ugly loss that was. 10-1. So, thank God they're going to make up this game tomorrow. So, yeah. Yeah, got to get a win there. Got to get a win. But for the Red Sox, it's just been really up and down lately for this Red Sox team. So starting pitching has actually been pretty good. Eduardo Rodriguez has been really good this month. Chris Sale's been good in his 2 starts since coming back. Nick Pavetta's been fine. Tanner Houck's been fine. Garrett Richards has not. Martin Perez got moved to the bullpen. But the offense, they've had their moments here in recent weeks. 20 against the Rays, 16 against the Orioles. 6-0 win the other night. But you got swept. You couldn't do anything against that Yankees pitching this past week. So very up and down. It's just kind of weird. The bullpen has had its moments. I don't know. My Red Sox overall, 7th best offense this year. Fielding wise, the Red Sox have actually been okay. They're 13th in the offense this year. They are 8th in starting pitching this year, and the bullpen ranks 6th. So this is a good team. I definitely think, sure, they're hitting some bumps, but this is where I think Alex Cora, he's going to keep this team. Alex Cora is such a good manager where he's definitely a player manager. The players, they love playing for him. I think they're going to be able to keep the ship steady. I don't see a team, especially with the way they've been pitching. They're not lacking depth anywhere. I think it's just a matter of these guys just need to execute a little better. They're just running into some bad baseball lately. It happens, but they've lost some close games. If you look at the schedule, 3-run loss to the Yankees, 2-0 loss to the Yankees there. 5-3 loss there. So those are pretty close games. You got pummeled by the Rangers there, but they're showing signs. They're just running into some tough stretches a little bit, losing against the Rays, the Yankees. That's not a good sign when you're losing against good teams like that. The Blue Jays, they lost 3 out of 4 too. So they're beating good teams, or they're beating bad teams, but they're not beating good teams lately. So that's something, they're going to have to start stepping up against these teams. You got the Rays coming up soon, so have to wait and see. But for the Red Sox, I feel like, it was a sweep against the Yankees and you split with the Rangers. Overall, you went 1-4 this week. I think for the Red Sox, you got to drop them down. For the Red Sox last week, I had them at a B+. I think you got to drop them down maybe. I don't know. The record is still good. You're still tied for a wild card. I don't know. It's like I want to keep them at a B+ because they are still they're still tied for a wild card spot. If we're looking here, you're tied for the second wild card with Oakland. So, you know what? For the first time this year, let's have you guys vote. Let's have you guys vote for my Red Sox. What do you think? Where should the Red Sox be? Should they stay at a B plus? Or are we going to drop them down to a B? I'm very interested to see what you guys say here. You guys get to vote for my team. I only see one B plus here. A couple of B pluses. See Bs. Yeah, I think overall, I think we got to drop them down to a B. I think that's appropriate. These other teams have been dropping down too if they didn't have a good week. So same goes to the Red Sox. So a B plus last week, moving down to a B, unfortunately. So my Red Sox, hey, let's pick up the pace here. Let's get back to an A soon. So moving on, we have the Chicago White Sox, 72-53 on the year, 5-5 in their last 10. Lost a couple to end the week. So this White Sox team, it's a weird team. It's a weird team because they have a very talented team, but they don't do good against good teams. I don't know what it is. Like, I think this team is capable of beating these good teams, but they just don't show up a lot. You lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees recently. You did take 3 out of 4 against the A's. I'll give them that. But then you lost 2 out of 3 against the Rays. So more often than not, they don't play these good teams very well. If we were to go pull up the White Sox on Baseball Reference, where they break down their schedule. So if you take a look at one-run games, they're 13-19 in one-run games. But then if you take a look against the record against good teams, the Red Sox, a good team this year, 2-2. Houston, you're 2-5 against. The Yankees, you're 1-5 against. Tampa Bay, you're 3-2 against. So they're not like overwhelmingly good. They're 3-1 against Oakland. So they're not overwhelmingly good against these teams when you look at the records overall. You're 1-5 against the Yankees. I don't know. The Yankees have their number this year. And then the Astros are 2-5. So, they're beating these teams like the Orioles, the Twins. They've really taken advantage of this year. The Tigers. So they've been really pouncing on these division rivals. That's been the key for the White Sox this year for where they're at. But for some reason, more often than not, or the 3-3. Oh yeah, that doesn't include that. Yeah, this doesn't include the loss today. Thank you. Who said that in the chat? Dimez in the chat. Thank you. Yeah, that has not updated. They lost today. So yeah, I don't know what it is with this White Sox team. They rank really well in all the major categories. They're 4th in offense. They're 12th in fielding. They are 2nd with starting pitching. They have good starting pitching. Those are good names in that rotation. And you're 5th in the bullpen. So, actually, I want to see, how has Kimbrel been? So, let's take a look at the White Sox. That killed me. Darn it. Come on. Here we go. So, how did I... All right, whatever. We're going to have to do this. Fangraphs, this is where they kill me sometimes. I hate that I have to plug in all these numbers and stuff. So this past week, Kimbrel gave up some runs this past week. Tepera gave up some runs. Mike Wright Jr. gave up a couple of runs here this past week. Kopech, couple of runs. Bummer, not very good this week. Hendricks was good this week. So bullpen, not the best this past week. We were to take a look at the rankings recently with the White Sox. Starting pitching with the offense was 8th this past week. The starting pitching this past week was 17th. And the bullpen was, they had the 2nd best bullpen this past week. Even with, guys like, Kimbrel and Tepera giving up a couple of runs there. So they still had the 2nd best bullpen this past week. But overall, kind of a up and down week. You won 3 out of 4 against the A's and then 2 out of 3 against the Rays. Or you lost 2 out of 3 against the Rays. So I had the White Sox as an A last week. I'm going to stick with an A. I'm going to stick there. You're still, leading that division. You're still looking pretty good. But they got to start playing against these better teams. I don't know. Like, sure, the A's winning 3 out of 4, that's good. But, against these, to me, personally, I think the Rays are a better team than the A's. I mean, no offense to the A's. But you got to start taking it to these. You got to start winning these series. Because when it comes to the regular season, this is fine and dandy. But when it comes to the playoffs, you got to beat these good teams. So simple as that. Anyway, moving on. We have the New York Yankees. This Yankees team on fire lately. They are 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 9 straight. What the heck, man? You all know me, and I'm going to keep saying it all year. I have had faith in this Yankee team. Almost no one had faith in this Yankee team at all. John Boy didn't have faith in this Yankee team. I don't know if Jake from, Talking Yanks had faith in them as well. But I don't know. I know John Boy didn't. John Boy made a video saying that they weren't going to make the playoffs. But like I was saying, I stood my ground with the Yankees. They had a good team. And I was saying, hey, if you make a couple of moves, you'll be right back in position. But, and here they are. They're right there. They balanced their team out. They added some lefty bats. You added some pitching in there, and you're getting some guys back. You're getting healthy. I've been waiting for this Yankees team to just bust out, and they have done just that. We just talked about how they swept my Red Sox this past week. You won all 3 against the Twins before the game got postponed today. You won 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. 2 out of 3 against the Royals there. 2 out of 3 against the Mariners. They've been winning series going back all the way to July. So this Yankees team, they have been playing really well. So Matt Nacco has just subscribed. Thank you, my friend, for subscribing. Are we at 13.2? Almost at 13.2K. Let's see if we can get a few more subscribers in here tonight. Appreciate you guys coming out tonight. We are about 15 subscribers away. So if anyone's new in the chat, hit that subscribe button for me. But for the Yankees, this team, let's go to the recent stats. This team has just been nuts. You are 5th in offense this past week. Their starting pitching has just been so good. So good. Let's pull up the Yankees here. So let's just go back to August. The beginning of August. Let's kind of just see how they've been doing this past month. So you got Luis Gil, who's been great. Jamison Tyon, he's been solid. A 3.18 ERA. Garrett Cole's Garrett Cole. Jordan Montgomery's been putting together some good starts. Even Cortez has had a couple of starts there for the Yankees. Andrew Heaney, he's been getting hit around a little bit. But, you've been getting starting pitching. You're going to be getting Kluber back soon. I'm telling you, I'm feeling pretty good about this Yankee team. Feeling pretty good against this Yankee team. If we're going to take a look here at the Yankees. So, what's going on with the injuries? So, got a couple of guys on COVID. So, Kluber, he's on a rehab assignment. Just started recently. Did they just send Clint Frazier to the moon? Is he just gone? Where is he? I think Clint Frazier got sent to the moon. But yeah, anyway, what's going on with where is my brain is fried, man. Where is Severino? What's going on with him? Is he on a rehab assignment right now? Can you imagine them getting him back? And then Herman also on the IL. But Severino, where are you at, my friend? I believe he was throwing recently. Oh, I didn't see this. Yankees manager Aaron Boone said Thursday that Severino was cleared of any structural damage to his right shoulder after receiving a second medical opinion. He'll be shut down from throwing for the next week. When did this happen? I missed this. Last time I checked on Severino, he was playing catch or something. It looked like he was about to start a rehab assignment. So, all right, well, never mind about Luis Severino. I was about to say, when are they getting him back? But Kluber, he should be back soon. And then I don't know when you're going to get Herman back. Let me actually go here to Kluber. Let's pull him up. Yeah, I believe he just pitched the other day. Yeah, 3 days ago. So 3 innings for AAA. He allowed 3 runs on 2 hits. So, I mean, hey, Kluber will be a nice arm to get back. So, hey, for September, that's a good arm. So, hopefully he can stay healthy. But for the Yankees, they've just been killing it. And then they're 4th in the bullpen this past week. This Yankees team is just awesome right now. I mean, what else is there to say? They were an A last week. For the first time, the Yankees are an A+. They're making moves. They're just dominating right now. They're just winning games. You have to put them at an A+. They were at an A last week, and then they just pummeled everything in their path this past week. You won every game this past week. You swept the Red Sox. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, there's nothing else to say. So the Yankees easily moved into the A+. I think that is the first time all year the Yankees have been an A+ for me. I don't know if anyone can confirm that. I don't know. Did I have them at an A+ at all? I know I had them at an A at one point. I don't know if I had them at an A+. I can't fully remember that. But anyway, hey, the Yankees, man. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if the Yankees win this division. Don't be surprised at all, especially when they're getting these guys coming back. I mean, this team's just good, man. This team's just good. So, anyway, moving on. We got the Houston Astros not playing in, very inspiring baseball as of late. The Houston Astros, kind of just whatever lately. I mean, losing to Seattle this weekend. So, they've kind of just been quiet. They were really making some noise there for a little bit. But just, I don't know. This Astros team lately, they're just, they're not quite getting it done. You lost 3 out of 4 to the Royals, but then you did win 2 out of 3 against the Mariners. So, kind of weird how you lose 3 out of 4 to the Royals. Not a good team. They have been playing better lately, so I'll give them that. But then you just pummeled the Mariners, man. You just destroyed them. You scored 27 runs over 2 games. That is nuts. Absolutely nuts. So that's definitely going to inflate their numbers for this past week. So Houston's offense was number 1 this past week, but 2 games like that's going to put you up atop the leaderboards there. They're 15th in starting pitching, a 4.13 FIP, 3.63 ERA this past week for the Astros. And then the bullpen, Houston's bullpen ranks 12th this past week. 17 innings from the bullpen, 3.12 ERA, 3.58 FIP, over 10 strikeouts per 9 from that group. Are there any top performers for the Astros? Carlos Correa has been killing it this past week, a 4.29 average, a 5.38 on base. I mean, Carlos Correa, this guy is having as good of a season before you go into free agency. I mean, he is just dominating, man, having a great year. Really picking up the slack for, George Springer leaving. He's had his injury problems in recent years. So for him to be healthy this year and playing the way he is, hey, Carlos Correa, man, give him some credit. But also Jose Altuve has been having a good week, hitting .393 this past week, a 4.14 on base. So Jose Altuve getting it done as well. If we're taking a look at the starting pitching, do they have anyone? Framber Valdez he took the loss, but he had a 2.57 FIP for the week. So he pitched better than he pitched into the 7th inning. So Framber Valdez, tough loss there for him. And then for the bullpen, any guys in the Houston bullpen that are top performers this past week? Not seeing anyone jumping out here, but Houston, kind of just whatever lately. I'm not really going to do anything with them Just an up and down week. So for Houston, they are going to stay at an A+ for me. Moving on, we have the Milwaukee Brewers. They continue to play good baseball. They got the 4th best record in Major League Baseball right now. 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 2 straight heading into next week. Milwaukee, man, I just really like this team this year. I had them as an A+ last week. I'm just going to put them as an A+ right now. Let's not waste any time with that. But Milwaukee, they continue to move up the leaderboards offensively. They were dead last at one point, and now they see themselves all the way at 16th. Willy Adames, I feel like I've mentioned this the last month, but he just continues to just perform, man. These guys having a great year. Defensively, this Brewers team, they're the best defensive team in all of baseball. I'm a sucker for some defense, defense. And then Milwaukee, come on, you got great starting pitching, you got great defense. That's a recipe for success. And then when you're hitting too, come on. But the bullpen, the bullpen is not, they're locked down in the back end, but, middle relief, I kind of worry about. Those 5th and 6th innings and the 7th inning for the Brewers. They got to really rely on those starters to go deep into games. If you can get 7 innings out of your starter, you got a good chance. If you're up by, 2 or 3, or even 1, good chance, Chris Burns, Woodruff, Peralta give you 7 innings. Good chance you're going to win that game. But where it worries me, if they only make maybe, get 4 innings out of a guy or 5 innings. I'm worried about that 5th and 6th and 7th inning a little bit for the Milwaukee Brewers. So that's where I think they could run into some issues. So that's the only thing with Milwaukee. That's it. But lately, Milwaukee, 15th in offense this past week. They are, I would imagine, they're only 18th in starting pitching, so they actually struggled with the starting pitching this past week. Starting pitching was 1-2 this past week with a 5.96 ERA, 4.45 FIP. Milwaukee's bullpen, though, did perform better this past week. They got 2 wins out of that, out of the bullpen, 2.42 ERA with a 3.85 FIP. Let's see if they have any guys that have been stepping up offensively. Avisail Garcia had himself a good week, hit 438, 500 on base this past week. We had Colton Wong hit 412 for the week. I saw someone say, Peralta's injured. That's right. Thank you, Noah, for reminding me about that. I see Matt Yelich is heating up. So let's pull up Mr. Christian Yelich. Let's see. Christian Yelich, what are you doing? I did look at him a couple weeks ago, stat-wise. Where is he? Here he is. So, yeah, those numbers are getting better. The on-base has been good all year. I think Christian Yelich, I think something happened with his swing, because when he is making contact, he still hits the ball really hard. He still ranks really well in exit velocity, but it's the average has been low. The home runs are down, but the guy is still getting on base. So you got to give him some credit there. So it looks like maybe he's starting to come out of it a little bit, though. He's starting to get some more hits. But for Milwaukee, not going to really waste any time there, moving them or keeping them at an A+. We are down to 3 teams. We're down to 3 teams. Tampa Bay, another good week for Tampa Bay, 7-3 in their last 10. Taking it to the White Sox this past week. Really like this Rays team. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about that. Saw them in person a few weeks ago, and that team, just watching them in person, just a relentless team, man. But this past week, swept the Orioles 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. That's a really good week, if you ask me. We're going to keep them at an A+. But taking a look at some stats, Tampa Bay, they actually have, great offense this year. Great offense. I know a lot of people think maybe Tampa Bay doesn't have a great offense. They're more, relying on that pitching. But Tampa Bay's offense has really been good this year. Let's take a look at some of these numbers with Tampa Bay. Brandon Lau, he has been the top performer this past week. Look at the week that he's had. hit 409 this past week, a 500 on base, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. He is one of the current leaders in WAR for the week. And then starting pitching wise, no top performers starting pitching wise, but I bet you they got a bullpen guy in here. Andrew Kittredge, ERA is high, but 1.17 FIP. So it looks like he did take a loss there, but the advanced numbers look a lot better. Ryan Yarbrough had 5 innings out of the bullpen. He got the win, so good for him. Looks like that was probably an opener kind of a game where they had an opener and then he came in. What else? Any more Tampa Bay guys? Another one. Enns. How do you say this name? Dietrich Enns. Wow. 3 innings for him this past week. He was good. So no surprise here to see Tampa Bay have some bullpen guys in the top performers for the week. But if we take a look, starting pitching or defensively, Tampa Bay, they rank 5th. So they're 5th in offense and they're 5th in defense. Starting pitching, they are 15th. I mean, that sounds right for them, because they do rely on that bullpen a lot, and also having some injuries this year. Tampa Bay, 15th. No surprise there. For the bullpen, though, they have the best bullpen in Major League Baseball. They have 45 wins out of that bullpen this year. Granted, they do use a lot of openers, but, no, they wouldn't get the wins. Anyway, what am I talking about? But, but then they have a guy come out of the bullpen, and then they get the wins. Never mind. So that makes sense. But, so they're going to have a lot of wins out of that bullpen. But 3.11 ERA, 3.45 FIP. That bullpen is just so good. But Tampa Bay, no surprise here, keeping them at an A+. We are down to the last 2. Let's do the Dodgers. They are red hot. They did lose tonight to the Mets, but other than that, they've been just killing it, man. Killing it. This Dodgers team. We do got some injury updates as well. Looks like, actually, let me go pull that up really quick. So it looks like Kelly and Betts are maybe seeing themselves coming back rather soon. Love me some Joe Kelly Fight Club. Anyone see that they also signed Shane Green? Very interesting. Joe Kelly expected back this week, and Mookie Betts expected back later this week. So good to see there. Urias should be back this week. So a lot of guys are still TBD, but the Dodgers, man, they're just getting healthier and healthier. But taking a look, but you did win 2 out of 3 against the Mets this past weekend. No, sorry, 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4, and you swept the Pirates. So you went 6-1 for the week. I'm not gonna waste any time. A+ for the Dodgers. I think we can all agree. One of the best teams in baseball. But for the Pirates, it's almost bedtime, everyone. I can't even talk right. Could you imagine if the Pirates were one of the best teams in baseball? That'd be fun to see. But the Dodgers, 3rd in offense this past week. No. Oh, wow. Oh, it's almost bedtime. 3rd in offense for the year. The Dodgers, though, very surprising. They don't rank very well defensively. They do have 11, or is that 21? No, so it's 11 defensive runs saved, though. So UZR-wise, not a good defensive team. Very surprising to see the Dodgers so low. But they're 3rd in starting pitching. Not surprised about that. They're 4th. They've actually, that Dodgers bullpen has really been stepping up lately. They were kind of hovering around in like the 10 to 15 range for a while, but now they have the 4th best bullpen. So lately, the Dodgers are 11th in offense. They have the 11th spot for starting pitching, and they have the best bullpen this past week. Look at the bullpen this past week. 4-0 out of that bullpen, a 1.36 ERA, 2.75 FIP with 33 innings. That bullpen was awesome this past week. Let's see. Any top performers? Trey Turner had himself a week, hit 500, had a home run. Trey Turner stepping up for the Dodgers. I'm sure there's another one here. Max Muncy had himself 3 home runs for the week, a very low average and okay on base, but 3 home runs and 7 RBI. Are we back? Alrighty, we're back. Yes, Sal, that Florida internet, man. I'm probably gonna have to reset that router. It tends to get like that for me sometimes. But alrighty, we're back. We didn't lose a lot of people. Hopefully they start coming back in. But everyone, thank you for staying. But let's take a look here. I could have sworn Max Scherzer had a start. Could have sworn he had a start this past week, or he did pretty good. Where are we at here? Let's pull up here the Dodgers. Okay, pulling up the Dodgers. Yeah, I think he just started on, what was it, yesterday? Oh, yeah, 5 innings. Yeah, no, he did good. So, got the win there against the Mets. Struck out 8 over 5. So, hey, Max Scherzer. I mean, what a trade that was for the Dodgers, man. Just unbelievable. He had to give up 2 pretty, decent prospects, but, for him and Turner. But, I mean, what a pickup, man. So, Urias is going to come back this week. David Price, hey, man, getting some starts. Hey, you started against the Mets today, and of course, or did he start today? Yeah, he started today, and he got the loss. So, what do you know? David Price getting the loss. I'm going to tell you right now. Or no, he didn't factor in. Okay, I take it back. He's been all right this year. 3.62 ERA. 10 starts. 4.03 FIP. Strikeouts are down. So, you'd think those strikeouts would be a little bit better. But, hey, David Price, he's contributing for the Dodgers this year. Anyway, I mean, not surprised, especially with all the injuries that they've had. I mean, they had to put him back into the rotation. So, but yeah, the Dodgers, I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, let me actually real quick, let me look at the bullpen guys. I'm sure they have a couple of guys in this list. Kenley Jansen had a good week, 4 innings. Who else had a good week? Oh, wow, he's the only one. So, here, let me pull up the Dodgers this past week. Okay, so, yeah, Jansen, Mitch White, Vesia, Bickford, Knievel, all had good weeks. So, Treinen had himself an okay week. A lot of strikeouts. Phillips was good. Andre Jackson was good. A lot of guys stepped up for the Dodgers for the bullpen. So, but yeah, good to see. The Dodgers, A+. And last but not least, the San Francisco Giants. We're going to put them at an A+. What a good week. I mean, for the Giants, again, they just continue to play good baseball. The first team in Major League Baseball to get to 80 wins. This Giants team, what else is there to say? Lamonte Wade Jr. Hey, you know what? I actually, I got a comment. From someone. Jared Cole, $5 super chat. If the Dodgers can't get 19 green, the bullpen will be amazing. In Detroit, he didn't throw more than 17 pitches in an outing. I think for, the way the bullpen's been looking lately, it's looking very good. Adding a Shane Green, I mean, hey, it's just gonna be another arm out there, and hey, maybe they see something with him that they can fix. Maybe they can tinker something and they can get him back on track. But in the end, it's good to see that they're not having to rely on a guy that struggled coming back. They've had these other guys stepping up for them, and they are getting Joe Kelly back soon too. So it's nice they're gonna be able to get a Shane Green, where they don't have to count on him. Kind of like how the Padres had to sign Jake Arrieta. Like, they have, no starting pitching, and they brought in Arrieta, and the guy just stinks. And, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to see how Green does. So, Jared Cole, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I had a comment it was a stream that I did this past offseason. It was potential breakout players, and I had Lamonte Wade Jr. on that list, and he's actually been pretty good this year. He's been decent. And, hey, had a pink shit home run today. Or yesterday, sorry. But, yeah, I forgot that I had Lamonte Wade Jr. on that list. So, hey, the fact that I was able to, maybe point out a guy that had a breakout year, or I don't want to say a breakout year, but at least he's been productive for the Giants. So, is it Lamont? I'm sorry. 37 Will Dog. I'm sorry. There's another guy that's Lamonte or Lamonte. There's another one in, I don't know. Is there another guy in the league that has the same name? I don't know. But having a good year for the Giants. Let's just take a look at their numbers. 6 in offense this year. Defense, the Giants, where are they on defense? 16th. That's fine. Wow, holy cow, they have 42 defensive runs saved. Does that lead the league? No, that's definitely up there though. It's 8th. So, wow, a lot of runs saved for the Giants. Guys stepping up out there. But we got the starting pitching. Hey, we all know the Giants have some pretty solid starting pitching. 6th in starting pitching this year. They are 10th in the bullpen. That's really great to see. I mean, the fact that they were dead last, I believe they were last at the end of April, and now they're 10th. So, I mean, crazy. They've gone up 20 spots since the end of April. Awesome. Offense this past week, 14th in the offense. Starting pitching was solid. 5th in starting pitching this past week, and 5th in the bullpen this past week. Do we have any San Francisco Giants on our top 30 leaderboard here? San Francisco Giants. Do we have anyone? No. But that kind of says to me, it kind of, that's what this Giants team has been this year. Not a lot of, like superstars, not a lot of guys that are, juiced up numbers, superstar players like the Dodgers. They just have these guys that are just stepping up this year. And even if they don't have anyone in the top 30, for this past week, they're still winning games, and that's fine. But the pitching, I'm sure they got a guy here. Alex Wood had 5 innings this past week. The dude had 16 strikeouts per 9 in that start. You gotta love it. But he got the loss though. How many strikeouts is that through 5? Here, let me pull up. Where are the Ks? Where are strikeouts? Oh, here we go. I was looking for K. So Alex Wood, he has to be on this. Oh, he had 9 strikeouts through 5. Okay. So, but Alex Wood, overall, good advanced numbers. He got the loss, but he was pretty good in that start. No one else. No, sorry. We got Kevin Gausman here. I completely passed him. So he won his start this past week. While he did give up a few runs in a couple of games, a 2.14 FIP for the week. So that's a good sign for Kevin Gausman. How about the bullpen? Any guys in the bullpen? Jose Alvarez had 3 games this past week. Didn't give up any runs, so good for him. Only guy in the top 30 for the relievers this week. So I'm sure they've had some other guys stepping up, though. Let's pull up the Giants bullpen. Want to show that bullpen some love. They ranked 15th. Again, almost bedtime. 5th in relief pitching this past week. So let's pull up the 16th through the 22nd. Again, Jose Alvarez, a good week. Jarlin Garcia, good week. Jake McGee, good week. Tony Watson, hey, decent. Got Tony Watson earlier a few weeks ago through trade. A lot of guys stepping up. Tyler Chatwood had a bad week. So, Rogers was okay. He got a win. So, but yeah, bullpen this week for the Giants been pretty good. Gotta love how far that Giants bullpen has come ever since the end of April. So, but here we go. Those are the grades for the teams. Again, it's not, I don't just base it off of, I'm not grading them for just this past week. It's kind of like a continuous thing. Where they were last week, I kind of move them up and down from last week. So this is what it was last week, and this is what it is this week. So definitely a lot of changes here. Definitely a lot of changes. I mean, we've seen some guys or some teams dropping. The Padres dropped. Oh, Super Chat. Oh, was it Heel? God. You know, it's funny with these pronunciations. I get a lot of comments. So, just a thing about me, a fact about me is, like, I will definitely pronounce some names differently. Because for those of you that don't know, I was born in England. I learned my phonics in England. So when I see a word, I pronounce it exactly how I see it based off of what letters I see. So if I see G-I-L, I'm going to say Gil. That's just like literally, it's just natural to me. I learned all my phonics in England. And so, people in England, they pronounce things a little differently. So some pronunciations I'm definitely going to get wrong. So, I mean, I get comments all the time. But Maryland. See, I'm not going to be so bad with pronunciations. So, Jay, did I say that right? I can see someone in England saying Maryland. Absolutely. But yeah, no. When it comes to like certain names, I remember there was another one. I was saying a name so bad. I don't even remember, but I was saying it exactly how I saw it. It's just, this is how I am. Anyway, but so Steve Hamilton, thank you for pointing that out. Logan Webb has actually been very good. I'm going to pull up Logan Webb. I feel like I had this guy on some kind of a list at one point, like a breakout pitcher or something. Logan Webb, man, give this guy some credit. He's not a rookie, right? He's pitched already in a lot of games, but Logan Webb's having a good year. He's 7-3 on the year, a 2.92 ERA, a 2.3 WAR. So the one thing about Logan Webb, in the offseason, I swear I talked about Logan Webb somewhere. I don't remember what stream, but I know I talked about him, and I said, look out for Logan Webb, man. This guy's got nasty off-speed stuff. He's got a nasty changeup. That's the stuff that he had, once he kind of got through those growing pains, the guy has stuff. When you got stuff, good chance you're going to make it in this league. And, Logan Webb, man, he's just been stepping up. I mean, what a year. 2.92 ERA. What's that FIP? FIP is really good. 3.22 FIP. So you got to love that. Logan Webb. Thank you, Steve Hamilton, for pulling that up for me. So anyway, let's go on to the top 10. Last week, this was my top 10. I already have my top 10 written down on my little notepad, so I'm not going to waste any time here. I already thought it out. I've already got my teams listed out. So this was the top 10 last week. We had the Braves at number 10. We had the Padres at number 9. We had the Yankees at number 8. We had the A's at 7. The White Sox at 6. Brewers at 5. Astros at 4. Rays at number 3. The Dodgers at number 2. And the Giants at number 1. So I'm going to go through this one rather quickly. I'm putting the A's at number 10. Not a great week for the A's. Kind of an up and down week, or up and down lately. They're 3-7 in the last 10. So not the best week overall. So they're going to drop down for me. They were at, 8? They were at 7. I'm dropping them down to number 10. Not fully because of how they've played, but we've got some other teams that are coming in here. So I'm going A's at number 10 here. Let me actually put that in presentation mode. Looks a little better. Okay, here we go. Coming in at number 9, this team has been red hot, man. The Cincinnati Reds coming in at number 9. So that's another reason why the A's are falling down a little bit, because I got to put this Reds team ahead right now. This team has just been fantastic. So 7-3 in their last 10. They won 4 straight. Offense has been clicking. Starting pitching has been good. Bullpen's been fine. Cincinnati, they come in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, another red hot team. That's not the right list. Another red hot team, the Atlanta Braves. The Braves I had at number 10 last week. And also for the Reds, first time in the top 10 this year. So, hey, good for the Reds. But the Braves, they were at number 10 last week. They keep on winning games. They're bumping up a couple of spots. Braves at number 7. Number 8. Coming in at number 7, we got the White Sox. We got the White Sox dropping down one spot from last week. So the White Sox, kind of a, lost a couple there over the weekend, to the Rays. Like I said, they're just not really winning against these good teams. So the White Sox, for me, and some other teams are moving up the list as well. The White Sox falling down to number 7 for the week. Coming in at number 6, I'm actually going to bump the Houston Astros down to number 6. Not playing totally inspiring lately. They did take it to the Mariners this past weekend, but you lost that series to the Royals earlier in the week. Been up and down a little bit lately. So I'm going to put the Astros at number 6. Coming in at number 5, just like last week, we had the Brewers. No reason to take them out of the 5 spot. No reason to move them up or down. Maybe you could make a case for maybe number 4. They continue to play really good baseball. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They won a couple straight to end the week. Hey, the Brewers have been playing good baseball. But you could make an argument for number 4. But you know what? I'm feeling spicy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm feeling spicy. You're probably going to disagree with this one. I'm going Yankees at number 4. I'm going Yankees at 4. This team's been red hot. They swept the Red Sox. They've been just killing everyone lately. Probably maybe a bit of a jump for me. I'm going number 4. This Yankees team is looking really good. They have some of the best starting pitching this month. That offense has been clicking. The bullpen's been stepping it up. I'm going Yankees at number 4. You could go Brewers at number 4 here. Because they have been playing well. But I don't know. I'm going with the hot hand. I'm going Yankees at number 4 right now. You could go either way here. I could see people wanting to go Brewers at number 4. But me personally, my opinion, I'm going with the hot hand. Going with the Yankees at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays staying in the 3 spot, just like last week. No change there. They continue to play really solid baseball. Bullpen continues to be phenomenal. Offense continues to be really good. Taking it to the White Sox. Or no. They won? Oh, I'm completely going blank. Let me go back to their schedule this past week. It's time for bed, everyone. It's almost bedtime. I'll tell you, I've been waking up a lot earlier lately too, and that's just kind of killing me right now. Like I woke up at 5 a.m. today, I've been waking up at like 5:30 in the morning so I can go to the gym first thing in the morning. And I'm pretty tired right now. But you won 2 out of 3 against the White Sox this past week. So for the Rays, they're, to me, still one of the best teams in the game. I almost want to put them as a top 2, but these other 2 teams, they just continue to play well. I will say this, though. I'm putting the Dodgers in at number 2, but Giants fans, listen. The Giants, to me, are still the best team in baseball, but the Dodgers are breathing down your neck. I'm going to tell you this right now. I know the Giants continue to play solid. They continue to play solid, but this Dodgers team is red hot. They're red hot. 9-1 in their last 10. They are playing phenomenal. They're getting healthy. I'm just saying. I know they're 2.5 back behind the Giants right now, but look out for this Dodgers team, man. I'm just saying. Look out. They're getting their guys back. Scherzer has been just really solid for them. They're getting Mookie Betts back soon. But I think right now, the Giants are the better team. I really like what the Giants have been doing. What I like about the Giants and the reason why they're at number 1 for me over the Dodgers is they just win games. And to be honest with you, a perfect example was this past weekend. Taking a look at this past weekend. Come on, load for me. Here we go. So, I mean, take a look at this past weekend. You won a close 2-1 game today. You won a close 6-5 game yesterday. You won a close 3-2 game against the Mets. That's what the Giants do. The San Francisco Giants, they just win games. They just find ways to win games. And that shows to me it's a tight-knit team. They lock it down when they need to. That's what I like about this Giants team. It doesn't have, yes, they definitely have some really good players on this team. But, I mean, I think we can all agree that they don't have all these, superstar players like the Dodgers have. I think they definitely have some really good players. You could say Buster Posey's a superstar. He's one of the best players in the game, in my opinion. Chris Bryant, he's very good too. But I think we can all agree look at the payrolls. Just look at the payrolls. That's all you need to see. But the Giants, like I said, I just really like that they just win these games. If you look at how they are in one-run games, they're 22-14 in one-run games. So, 8-7 in extra inning games, fine. But that's what I like about this team. Against teams that are over 500, they are 34-25. So, gotta love that. Actually, what is this tab here? Yeah, we pointed this out, 23-14 in one-run games. I've never noticed that advanced tab. Extra innings, 8-7, that's fine. I mean, if you look at they're better than the Dodgers in extra inning games. They're better than the Dodgers in one-run games. And they are better than the Dodgers against teams over 500. So, that's what I like about this Giants team. They just win. So, and they win close games. That's what's good about them. And that they have the best record in baseball. And that is why, because of those reasons, and they rank well in the categories. Like I mentioned, the bullpen, they've gone up 20 spots over the course of a year. They ranked 30th at the end of April, and now they're 10th. So they have a top 5 offense, or top 6. Top 6 in the starting pitching? 6 in offense. And they have a good, decent team fielding wise as well, 16th. They have a lot of defensive runs saved, so I like that. You know what that shows me too? You get a lot of these defensive runs saved. These guys are busting it out there. They're getting the job done. They're putting out effort. Every time I think of defensive runs saved, I think of these guys. They're putting in the effort to make the plays. That's what I like. So while the UZR is a negative 0.8, that's fine, whatever. It's not like anything terrible. Compared to like these other teams, like the Dodgers, they have a negative 13.9 UZR. They'd have some defensive runs saved, that's fine. But the Giants, look at all those defensive runs saved. I mean, they're just really putting in effort. It's a complete effort from this team this year. I love that. And that to me, when you look at all these things, they have the 6th best offense, the 6th best starting pitching. They're 10th in the bullpen. They're busting it out there fielding wise. They're winning close games. They're beating these teams that are over 500. You're number 1. Now, I will say, I'm just saying, I don't mean to, burst the bubble, Giants fans. I'm just saying, the Dodgers are talented. That's the only thing. I'm not saying they're better. I'm just saying, keep your eye over your shoulder a little bit because they're hot, and they're getting healthy. But what's that going to mean come October? I don't know. The Giants are performing more like an October team this year. They're looking more like an October team than the Dodgers. They're winning those close games. They're beating those good teams, and they're beating those good teams in close games. So that's winning baseball. The Dodgers have the talent to do that, though. That's what I'm saying. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it's going to be fun down the stretch. It's going to be a lot of fun baseball. It's going to be a fun postseason. And, but yeah, here's my top 10 for this week, everyone. The Padres have fallen out of the top 10. Didn't see that coming. But my new top 10 for this week, the A's at 10, Reds at 9, first time this year in the top 10. Braves moving up to number 8, the White Sox at 7, the Astros at 6, falling down a spot. Brewers at number 5. The Yankees making a charge at number 4. Rays at number 3. Dodgers at number 2. And the Giants for the 3rd straight week, or 4th straight week, I can't remember, are the number 1 team. So everyone, before I do get out of here, again, be on the lookout here for an MLB The Show rebuild for the Diamondbacks this week. So look out for that. I'm not sure what day, but it will pop up eventually. So make sure you turn on the notifications so you get notified when that video gets posted. And then also be on the lookout for Over the Top. I keep Over the Top. It's time for bed, everyone. Out of the Park Baseball, where I will be rebuilding the Red Sox. I actually think I'm probably going to make this a live series, so be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to be using Out of the Park. I keep wanting to say Over the Top. What is wrong with me? Out of the Park Baseball. I'm going to be rebuilding the Red Sox on there, but I'm also going to be doing, let me actually show you real quick. Let me open up Out of the Park Baseball here. Let me share the screen. So I am going to be doing weekly, or not weekly. I am going to be doing rebuilds where, you know, I'm going to be spanning them over a few episodes, and but I am going to be doing those live. But I'm also going to be doing some historical games as well, or historical World Series. So where kind of like what if kind of stuff, where, what if it was the Red Sox and the Cubs in the 2003 World Series? What if the Mets made it to the World Series in 2006 instead of the Cardinals? I don't know. You could do other World Series. You could use your imagination. You could do, let me actually go back here. You could do, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Historical exhibition, to where you can plug in, a couple of teams from different eras, and you can do a World Series. So, for instance, I could do like the 1927 Yankees, So, I could do that amazing team from that year, and I could put them up against, I don't know, let's do maybe the 2018 Red Sox. Something like that, where that team won 110 games. And then, you could see which team would come out on top. I don't know. Sounds pretty fun to me. But I am going to be making, these are going to be live. Oh my God, it's time for bed. Out of the Park Baseball, these will be live. I'll probably keep MLB The Show stuff as pre-recorded, but Out of the Park Baseball, I will do live. So I think that's what we're going to do. But everyone, that is all I have for tonight. We were here for a couple hours tonight. We did the power rankings. I want to thank you all for coming out. We got the 13.2 thousand subscribers. We're on our way to 14,000. I appreciate all of you for coming out tonight. Be on the lookout for content this week. I hope you all have a good week. Have yourself a good night, and I'll talk to you next time.